No, it's no, it's not a joke. The lights are out. That is a silhouette of my head on the pillow in the afterglow of the television. I shall patiently leave this on in the background until people start showing up. Ew. The TV brightened up. Aha, someone has arrived. Good evening to a very uneventful and unpopulated live stream at current. Uh-oh, is that who I think it is? Hi, sweetheart. It was so nice seeing you here. The light is off on my side and the TV is the only light I have. And a thumbs up. Thumbs up where? Oh. So I was thinking about it today, right? We have another one in the room. We have two people on board. Huzzah! So I was thinking about it today, right? Because I've mulled over the idea of what is hope and how hope is like what one of the greatest crutches and in people's lives is that you hold on to something, right? Hold on to something that's otherwise unrealistic. Um, which that is the very epitome of hope. And it struck me that as much as I refer to that as being, like a drug that people hold on to far too much, that people rely too much on hope to get through their day to day lives, and sometimes incredibly absurd versions of hope or manifestations of hope. Um, I had a moment maybe of clarity today where I realized I was doing that very thing I've bludgeoned other people for, perhaps. That I'm holding on to something, hoping I don't have to give it up. I'm clinging ever so tightly to a hope because in all sober thought processes, it's not something that has a a realistic uh, probability of holding true. Like people play the lottery hoping to win. The odds are against them, but they hope anyway. You know, uh, People hope they lots of things. But hope again is the unrealistic expectation that things will turn out the way you want in spite of what is. And so I find that I've been holding on to the hope that I don't have to let go of the lifestyle I've led the last 2 years. That I'll be able to just, whenever I get my legs back under me, just be able to go right back to that life of what I was living. Um, the patterns, the familiarity, the rut that I had for myself. I keep holding on to the hope that I can go back to that, and it is, like I said, it's just a part of me just kind of was a sobering kind of sadness that it was much more hope and far less realistic. And that was painful. It hurt. It did. And it, in that moment, that realization was very bitter, very painful, but like a sharp pain. And it, oh hey, number three has shown up to the party room. Please introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are so that we may introduce you to the rest of the club. Then we can all beat ourselves over the head with it. Ha 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 ha. Join the club, it can't be beat. How many more puns must I throw at you to get you to introduce yourselves? Listen, I have plenty of public videos. I don't have to introduce myself in this video. And now I'm sticking my tongue out at you in in childlike defiance of your your standards of social norm. Oh, lights are off in the room. The only light is coming from the TV. FX is playing a marathon of the first of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. You know, the ones with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. You know, the good Spider-Man movies. The ones that, at least for my taste, much more so epitomized what I read of Spider-Man in the comics. Mind you, the Andrew Garfield ones epitomized a version of the Spider-Man comics that I remember from like the late 90s. What's up, D-Man? How you doing, dude? Thanks, D-Man, for the prayers. Yep, this day was awesome. I got some made some positive progress in the recovery realm, and I got to see my little sister, and that shit was epic. That shit was so much epic sauce, dude. And we have DC Outdoors in here. I don't know that I've seen your name around, DC Outdoors. Thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi and introducing yourself. Absolutely, man. Pop in, say hi, pop out like a Zit on prom night if you have to. Um, or just pop like popcorn. Yeah, you see what I did there. Ha ha ha. You know what, DC Outdoors? I wonder if it was R5. Ha ha ha. True that, Olivia. And so, yes, I have made myself comfortable after getting a workout and standing up a couple times before I had the strength to get back into bed. Shh, we'll leave it at that. Don't you say nothing. And now, kids, we have number four. Number four to the room, please introduce yourself. Everyone else, give them a warm welcome. It's Sunflowers. Hey, Sunflowers, how you doing tonight? How are you on this? What is it? Oh, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. There's no wrestling on tonight. Oh, no. Did anyone catch any of WrestleMania this weekend? I just caught the highlights on YouTube late Sunday night, early Monday morning. It looked like it was pretty good stuff. Like they uh they really did uh do it up. Oh, that's awesome, DC Outdoors. Oh, I hope so too, Sunflowers. I'm working on it. I was pushed myself a little harder to rebuild the strength today, so I will do more as my body allows. And even if it doesn't at some points, it's just gonna have to suck it up. Just start screaming at my knees or whatever weak part of me. Start calling my own body parts weak. Pussies, girly boys, like I'm their drill sergeant or something. But I made sure and got loaded up with goodies. So I've got rations and snacks and beverages to keep me going for about a week. I mean, obviously they bring food and stuff periodically throughout the day here, but I've got some trail mix and some soda. My guilty pleasure Java Monster. That's right, Java Monster. Because I just don't have the money to supply a cocaine habit. I mean, we all gotta do what we can to make things affordable, right? And you know what? I got smoked by that car February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. That night, the night of February 14th, was the last time I saw my kitties. And I miss them because they're my babies. And someone said Mama's pregnant again, so if she had them behind the dumpster of the building next door. And she'll be hiding there for a while with them because that's where she had the last litter. And the staff at my dialysis center tell me Bubby still comes over and says hi when they come to work in the morning around 5. But again, yeah, last time I saw either of them was February 14th, night of. So, and I just hope, like, the pair bond between us hasn't worn off in that time. The But one of those things, going back to what I said about hope holding on to the past. Well, part of that past is living outside and spending the nights and the early and the wee hours of the mornings, and sometimes all morning till noon with the cats outdoors, and I don't want to let that go, but there may come a point here where they're going to decouple their pair bond and become too feral if I don't get back to them soon enough. And also, I may have to give up way more than that aspect of my life to get what I need, which is a place to live near family that cares. And will be there for me to the extent I need them. And that may mean uprooting my whole life here, but I don't know. Maybe this is all part of that. Maybe I've been need to do that for some time now, and this is just forcing my hand. You know how that is. Sometimes, as I've said before, sometimes life makes decisions for you. Or like I said yesterday, and I think she remembers me saying this, that life is everybody's life is like a river, right? Where like everybody's life has a path that it's set to take, right? Maybe not every specific step, but you start at one point, you end at another point, and that's your life path, right? And like a river has a current where it starts at one end, ends at the other. Now, you can swim against that current your whole life. Try to escape it, right? Do everything you can to not go with that current, not go with the flow, as it were. But eventually, you will wear yourself out. You will wear yourself down. You'll be too weak to swim against it. You'll fall into it. It'll take over. And it'll take you where you were going to go all along. So, just like life, you can swim against the current till you wear yourself out and have nothing left, like I've clearly done here. Or you can just jump into the current and comfortably ride it from the beginning to the end and not wear yourself out. Yes, sir, Rusty, I am live. It's live. It's live. Oh. Well, I'm working on it, man. I made some progress yesterday and today. Gonna work on doing a little more tomorrow. Though it's getting about time for something to take the edge off. Ow. And that's what you get for pushing yourself. Um, and anyone who is inclined in this chat, thank you for your prayers. They are always welcome. Absolutely, dude. Oh, I will say this. I'm at this point, I'm not even sure the staff here are delinquent or lazy. as much as there's just such a language barrier that just like I just got so frustrated with the staff member earlier that I think they experience that same frustration towards their patients. And so that may be part of the reason there's so much neglect and ignoring of patient needs, because it's just when all your patients speak English and they don't speak Spanish, but all the staff speak Spanish and very little English, it becomes extraordinarily problematic for both sides. And so not only do the patients not want to deal with that, the staff don't either. So at that point, maybe you don't get as frustrated or angry with the staff. Um, but it doesn't make the situation any easier, buddy. Yeah, I try to stress to people there's a reason um, you insist on people in a collective adhering to the same language, because too many languages creates too much confusion, too much too much information and nuance lost in translation, so many details, important details you wouldn't think of until you lose them, are so important. And when you're trying to work around two or more different languages simultaneously, that's hard to keep track of for anyone, even someone who's raised bilingual. Because if they're raised bilingual, it it usually means that their parents grew up with one language and picked up a second one, so they're not even growing up with two solid languages. They're growing up with one strong language and one broken language, so they're not even really bilingual. They're like one and a half languages. And so they're already having a kind of dissonance in their own mind because they're trying to reconcile the two different languages in their own head, let alone trying to reconcile it amongst multiple people. All right. Have a good night. Get as much sleep as you can. Enjoy your. Have a good trip tomorrow.
It's really God for like made a lot of work on that paper.
Because, like, I remember there was a one act play when I was in high school. And I'm not the first to see it, and I wasn't the last, so I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, right? But the premise of the one act play, right, was that, like,
The dia
there was
after
like eight kids in a lineup, right?
the dia after mañana.
And the first kid says to the second kid, right, did you see that Johnny and Billy were sitting together at the same table today? And the second kid goes, no, where were they? And he goes, they were sitting across from this table Stephanie was at. Oh, so then the second kid tells the third kid that, did you see Billy was sitting with Stephanie today? Right. And so from one person to the next, the story gets more and more mutated until the story gets back around to the other person. And it's so different, like it's worlds apart from the original story. And that's just people in the same immediate social group speaking the same language their whole lives, raised together. They know each other. They've known each other since birth, right? But could you imagine now add in a couple different languages, how much worse that makes things? And then try to run businesses that way? It doesn't work. So, yes, language barriers are very, very problematic if you're seeking economic and human efficiency. Oh, that might not be bad, that blue ambiance, huh? Not too shabby. Switched over to a channel that has no channel, so it's just blue screen. Epic. But thank you all for stopping in. Um, it's a very empty life I lead here. All I can say is I've been watching a lot of TV. Thank you for your thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the thumbs up. Um, Instead of having this awkwardly linger, I will bid you all a good evening. Sleep well, have a pleasant day tomorrow, and we will see you all again soon.